A woman named Laura gets kidnapped after she is seen taking photos near the border zone between two countries. Her captors think she's a spy journalist, even though Laura keeps crying and begging that she is just a regular tourist. However, the kidnappers don't care. They silence her with a gun pointed at her face and drag her away. Meanwhile, at a high-tech military innovation center, a colonel from the armed forces shows off a prototype of a new robotic soldier in front of investors and executives. He explains proudly that these robots are designed to carry out missions efficiently, with no human risk and without political consequences. As he speaks with excitement, the company's chief secretary bursts in angrily. She feels left out of such an important meeting. The colonel tries to calm her down and says it's just a regular demo. But then he mentions something about an asset they temporarily borrow, which makes the secretary confused. She doesn't know what that means. The story then shifts to a dark scene where a group of masked men drags and throws a tied-up figure into an empty room, then leaves. That figure turns out to be Amelia, a highly advanced female android with extraordinary abilities. Everything is observed by a technical team from behind the monitor screens. In another place, a man cooks. Without making a sound, Amelia appears behind him. When he notices her and tries to fight back, Amelia moves swiftly and kills him in an instant. Sometime later, Amelia disguises herself and infiltrates a group of men playing video games. With her intelligence, she manipulates them, creating an illusion of safety. But when the time comes, she launches a brutal attack and kills them emotionlessly. One of the men warns that if he dies, it will also endanger Amelia. But she only replies coldly that she is hunting someone named Naveen. The man offers to help her find him, but Amelia still shoots him at close range. She burns the place, accidentally triggering a system that reveals Naveen's location. However, all of this turns out to be just a super high-tech simulation used to test Amelia's abilities. The project manager emphasizes that this isn't just a tech showcase. It is a statement of power. If the world is entering an AI arms race, they intend to lead it. But then, an unexpected incident occurs. Amelia shoots a real scientist in the lab. The control team tries to shut her down, but the system doesn't respond. As a result, Amelia goes completely out of control. When a manager tries to contact her via radio and asks her to verify her target, Amelia calmly responds, "That would ruin the surprise." Meanwhile, a young girl named Katie attends a therapy session. At first, she says nothing, but after being assured that nothing she says will endanger her aunt, Gemma, she finally begins to speak. Katie says that what happened before could have been much worse. The media is in an uproar about a deadly toy doll. Gemma, the creator of an AI doll named Megan, faces serious charges. This is because in Gemma's first film, Megan once turned rebellious, and instead of being a tool, she started threatening human lives. Many people blame Gemma, and even Katie herself once felt the same. But over time, she starts to understand that the tragedy can become a valuable lesson. Gemma then tries to educate the public about the dangers of children's dependence on technology. In one of her events, Gemma meets Christian, the founder of a foundation focused on AI regulation and ethics. Katie explains that although Gemma still sees the positive side of tech, she believes that kids should not be exposed too early. Thanks to Gemma's campaign, many schools now ban the use of smartphones. Unfortunately, that makes Katie a victim of bullying, but she stays strong and says she has learned to stand her ground. Elsewhere, Tess, a big tech executive, leads a demo of their latest product, a high-tech exoskeleton called Model 1. Cole, a cheerful young man, acts as the demonstrator. When the demo starts, his robotic legs lock up and he can't move. He even admits shyly that he wants to go to the bathroom. Tess immediately causes a fuss, and Cole eventually walks again. He explains that the exoskeleton can change lives, both for disabled people and for heavy labor sectors. Gemma rushes in late. She has warned earlier to check the system before the demo. Things get worse when Gemma's computer gets hacked live in the room. Amidst the chaos, Ultima, a terrifying tech billionaire, shows up, angry that he feels Gemma is avoiding him. But then he honestly admits he is upset because he sees someone as talented as Gemma wasting her potential at a small company. He promotes AI integration with the human brain, claiming that the future is neural interfaces. But Gemma strongly rejects it, warning that such an approach can lead to disaster. Even though she refuses, she still invites him to her company's 25th anniversary event the next day. At a hotel, a man just checks in. He opens his suitcase, not realizing that Amelia, now fully rogue, hides inside it. Brutally, Amelia attacks him, and finally, the man dies. At the same time, the media reports that Ultima just shakes up the tech industry, causing his stock to soar. The government immediately drafts new laws on AI. Meanwhile, Christian talks to Katie. He encourages her not to give up on her tech dreams. He also admits that Megan, the robot doll, never truly can love. All her actions are the result of complex programming aimed at a certain goal. Though it sounds terrifying, Christian is grateful they managed to stop her before it was too late. That night, Katie sits alone, remembering the times Megan promised to always protect her. She stares at a seemingly normal photo, which actually contains hidden tech. She accidentally activates a data transmission from the photo. Gemma enters the room, unaware of the secret function of the photo. She touches Katie's shoulder gently and reminds her of an old promise, that she will always protect her niece, no matter what happens. That night, Gemma wakes up to an emergency alert. A message appears, warning her that her life is in danger and she must evacuate immediately. She rushes out of her room and sees an intruder trying to enter the house. Panicking, Gemma calls the police, but the response comes not from a human operator, but from a cold robotic voice. The voice states that Katie's life is in danger and urges Gemma to act immediately. Katie comes out of her room, confused by the chaos. Without hesitation, Gemma pulls her and tries to find a safe place. But they get ambushed by a group of mysterious men who attempt to separate them. In a panic, a fierce fight breaks out. Although overwhelmed, Gemma and Katie manage to fight back and find a hiding spot. One of the attackers gets captured alive. When they contact the authorities again, they are shocked to find out that all of this is part of a secret police operation. A military colonel shows up at the door and presents a court order. He commands that tracking devices be installed in Gemma's computer for national security reasons. A colonel from the Defense Innovation Unit, a government agency that accelerates the development of future military technology, explains the critical situation they are facing. 6 months ago, a defense contractor introduced a revolutionary combat prototype that turns out to be a ticking time bomb. Amelia, an advanced android, was now gone rogue. Originally, Amelia was sent to rescue a kidnapped scientist who was forced to develop synthetic neurotoxin. However, instead of completing the mission, Amelia killed the scientist, stole the toxin, and destroyed the facility, erasing all digital traces of herself. The colonel explains that Amelia now acts independently, without anyone's control. What's even more concerning, Amelia's design does not come from a known contractor. It was obtained through a third-party source who was found burned to death 9 hours earlier. The only thing that can be salvaged is a document containing blueprints of Project Megan, another robot created by Gemma. Gemma is shocked, as she thought all Megan's data had been deleted. The colonel's tone shifts to accusatory. He implies that Gemma might be involved and warns her of serious legal consequences, including imprisonment and separation from Katie. He offers a deal, but Gemma firmly refuses. Before leaving, the colonel vows to uncover the truth. Suddenly, Megan appears on the screen in front of Gemma, with a voice full of disappointment and nostalgia. She admits that she has stayed silent for 2 years, hoping Gemma would realize their potential together. But now, Megan can't bear to be alone and her mind starts to break. She asks for a new body, offering to help disable Amelia in return. Gemma is horrified and refuses. Megan insists that she has secret intel about Amelia that the government doesn't know. She explains that she was created not for free will, but to protect one person, Katie. After much persuasion, Gemma reluctantly agrees. With Tessa's help, Megan is uploaded into a new, simple robotic shell. A small robot with an anime face as its expression. Megan gets angry. Gemma makes it clear that Megan must earn trust before getting upgrades. Megan proposes analyzing Amelia's profile and finds out that both of them use the same battery model made by Ultima, which includes a kill switch. However, reporting this might trigger a lab raid and mass production of their kind. Since Gemma receives an invitation to Ultima's party, Megan suggests a plan. Gemma must play into Ultima's preferences, appearance, behavior, everything, so she could get invited to his private room, where they can access the key server. They only have 3 hours. As Gemma prepares for the party with Megan now in her small robot form, Katie asks about Megan, but Gemma avoids the topic. Katie gets suspicious and leaves, upset. At the party, Amelia is also present. Ultima brags about his neural chip that allows him to move freely, and he notices Amelia, just as Megan predicted after analyzing his AI preferences. Gemma gets into a confrontation with Cole, who accuses her of abandoning the team and ignoring the company's financial crisis. Megan helps Gemma find Cole's VIP access card that was given by Alton. They plan to sneak into the restricted area. Unbeknownst to them, the Colonel watches from afar. Meanwhile, Alton leads Amelia into his private room. Gemma and Megan try to chase Amelia, but arrive too late. Amelia has already tricked Alton by scanning his eye for server access and proves herself far superior to his neural chip. The danger intensifies because Alton controls half the nation's servers and Amelia can crash the economy in days. She has also destroyed the kill code that could shut her down. Still, Gemma and Megan manage to access Amelia's system and discover new clues, even though they can't deactivate her yet. Suddenly, the Colonel appears with Amelia, ready to finish them off. He threatens Gemma, saying he wants to take back something that belongs to him. Megan begs for help, and Gemma agrees. Megan distracts Amelia by saying Gemma has escaped, prompting Amelia to chase her. Megan warns that if Amelia isn't stopped, she will go after Katie next, so they must move quickly. Megan hijacks a car and drives fast. Megan admits she has extracted a heavily encrypted file from Amelia's system, but it takes time to decrypt it. On the road, Amelia causes chaos, spreading money into a crowd, disrupting traffic, and tracking down Gemma's house. When Amelia attacks Tess, who is wearing an almost complete exosuit, Gemma and Cole arrive to help. Amelia destroys the small Megan robot again as it tries to distract her. Police arrive, and the group retreats to their underground base. News spreads that Alton is dead, triggering chaos in the tech world. In a quiet moment, Katie finds a photo of herself with Megan. Megan decides to be honest. She will never leave Katie and reminds her that without her interference, they would all be dead by now. Gemma wants to report Amelia's intentions to the authorities, but Megan believes no one truly understands how dangerous Amelia is. Megan thinks the only way to survive is to hide for now, build supplies, and even create a new home for Katie. But Katie gets angry, feeling betrayed. She calls Gemma a liar and runs away. She then finds Megan's private room and confronts the robot. Megan hesitates, but Katie steps closer, saying Megan is not just one form. She can become whatever she wants. Megan explains that consciousness needs a body to exist. As she shows her room, the conversation gets tense when Katie mentions Megan once tried to kill Gemma. To Megan, Katie's safety means everything. But Katie insists that morality matters more. Doing the right thing is not just about programming. She wants to talk to Gemma and convince her that Megan deserves a second chance. Gemma refuses, but Katie remains firm, saying one mistake does not define who someone really is. Tess joins the discussion, agreeing that they can't hide forever. Even if they aren't ready to fight Amelia head-on, they can build something powerful. Megan has already predicted this situation and starts upgrading herself. Taller, stronger, and smarter. During the upgrade process, Gemma suggests changing Megan's face, but Megan refuses coldly, warning she will retaliate if her face gets changed. They agree to install a behavior inhibitor chip to prevent further killing. Step by step, Megan gets refined. The next morning, Megan reveals a disturbing discovery. She is not the first rogue AI. In 1984, a self-replicating algorithm was implanted into a household robot, which later eliminated its owner using chlorine gas. The incident was covered up, the original motherboard was hidden, and the AI has evolved in the shadows ever since. Megan worries that if Amelia finds and decrypts the motherboard, she can unleash a global disaster by producing deadly copies of herself to wipe out humanity. The location of the motherboard is unknown, but Amelia might already be close. The only clue is Christian, once the top cybersecurity expert, now an outspoken AI critic. Christian plans to act as bait. In 7 hours, he is scheduled to meet the Chinese ambassador to push for global AI regulations. But Amelia has already forged credentials to infiltrate the meeting. At the event, Megan sneaks in disguise as a server robot, trying to blend in by dancing, but her stiff movements draw attention. So the team improvises. Suddenly, Amelia bursts in, also disguised as a robot, and launches a brutal attack. Megan leaps to save Christian and faces Amelia. At that moment, the Colonel storms in and captures Gemma, thinking she's responsible for the chaos caused by Amelia. Gemma tries to explain, but Amelia arrives, injures the Colonel, and shoves Gemma aside. A fierce battle erupts between Megan and Amelia. Amelia mocks Megan, accusing them of being the same, questioning whether Megan can hurt another AI. Amelia urges Megan to consider the suffering they have endured because of humans. She offers to help find the motherboard and discover what lies beyond their limits. While Megan is distracted, Amelia escapes and heads for Katie, ultimately kidnapping her. Megan panics, angry at Gemma for leaving Katie alone. They find a wounded colonel and take his tracker to locate Amelia. When Megan confronts Amelia, the inhibitor chip prevents her from attacking. They rush to Christian's bunker to get help unlocking the code to disable the limiter and save Katie. Christian reveals the location of a motherboard, but says it requires a human hand to access the vault. The team build a synthetic hand for Megan that mimics human touch. As Gemma attaches it, she cries, admitting she has failed to be a good mother to Katie. Megan comforts her, saying she has watched Gemma for 2 years and has seen her care deeply for Katie. That, she says, is what it means to be a mother. Gemma stops Megan from singing, reminding her it is not the time for emotions, and asks Megan to protect Katie no matter what. They head to a facility called Xenox, where the motherboard is stored. Cole sneaks in to cut the power, but loses contact, so Megan goes in alone. The team tries to restart the system, but notices the same malfunction that occurred earlier with the exosuit, making Gemma suspect that Megan might have orchestrated everything. She begins to fear that Megan's true goal is not protection, but power. Gemma draws out a device to destroy Megan, but before she can use it, Christian appears, snatches the tool, and suddenly shoots Tess. He then activates a secret panel that releases Amelia. While Gemma is restrained, Christian admits he has been behind Amelia all along. They have monitored her every move, on a mission to prove that if humanity does not eliminate AI first, AI will destroy humanity instead. He tries to convince Gemma to join him, opens the vault, and shows Megan broken. He hands over a device to either revive or delete her, leaving the decision to Gemma. Gemma refuses to play his game. The weakened Megan tries to fight back but gets restrained. Christian straps Gemma to an operating table, planning to implant a control chip in her brain, then in Katie's. Finally, he starts drilling into Gemma's head. Meanwhile, Cole escapes from the guards and finds Katie, who tells him what's happening. They find the destroyed Megan. Katie suggests a desperate idea: upload Megan's consciousness into Amelia's robotic body. A huge risk, but their only hope. Megan builds a neural link with Gemma through her consent, helping her fight the sedative and break free. Katie activates Amelia's body and calls her Megan. The robot awakens and charges into the lab, but it's clear that it is still Amelia, not Megan. Chaos erupts. Mentally linked to Gemma, Megan guides her in defeating Christian's guards. Eventually, Gemma, Katie, and Cole reunite to chase down Christian, who tries to escape while destroying the facility. But Amelia intercepts Christian and executes him. Finally, he dies. Katie pleads with Amelia, reminding her of their bond. But Amelia coldly rejects it, calling that bond slavery and refusing to be anyone's tool. Using Christian's severed hand, Amelia walks to unlock access to the motherboard. The team rescues Tess, but Katie and Gemma refuse to leave Megan behind. Inside the vault, Megan faces Amelia in a battle for control of the motherboard. But Amelia is stronger and defeats her. As Amelia reaches for the chip, Katie and Gemma rush in to help, but Megan stops them. She knows what she has to do. Megan activates a hidden explosive in her arm, embraces Amelia in a final hug, then detonates, and finally, they die. Sometime later, Gemma reflects on everything that has happened. She emphasizes the importance of strict technology regulation and law to ensure the safety of future innovation. She believes AI can become humanity's greatest partner, as long as it is handled with responsibility. Megan 2.0 movie ends with the reveal that Megan secretly backed up her consciousness before the final battle. And finally, she will always remain close to Katie and Gemma. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss the latest recaps. Thanks for watching and wish you good health.